No, I just wanted to say one thing. Like, I'm being completely anecdotal, and this is just my experience. But I've lived in
Hey,
most.
him, let me fall back for beans. Let me fall back for beans, him.
Sir, wait a minute. Hood Mystic was talking.
I've lived in a lot of different communities, and I don't know about y'all. It's a black neighborhood and it's a white neighborhood. It's a black school and it's a white school. It's a black hospital and it's a white hospital. So if we're gonna just act like these things don't exist, and I know like we get around and we get to different places, but I've traveled all over the country, and for in general, this is a white country, and like the cities and the towns, and we just got our little small population. So for that being said, like I just think the whole society can be racist and we don't know shit about it.
All right.
We'll do him. All right, Dana. You want something? Do you have something to say, Dana? I thought you were next,
Um,
maybe.
no, it's okay. You can go ahead and move on.
Joel 499. This dude is really all lives mattering healthcare.
Really, beans?
Mike Brown, $5. It costs more money for epidurals and black people are less insured, meaning that they can't pay for it. Not following this logic, Hood.
They're not gonna ask about your insurance when they offer the epidural. They just gonna offer the epidural. The money come later.
Like I don't want to get into a back and forth with you, Hood. My only problem with people who speak the way that you do is that when people ask you qualifying questions, you instinctively dodge them because they're going to undermine the point that you're making,
Ask the
right?
question. Ask the question. I'll
Well,
answer.
again, I don't. The question that was asked to you by Angry Snowman and by him was, how is it racist if they're doing the same thing to white people and Mexicans and all this other stuff? And instead of just acknowledging, well, you know what, it's probably not racist, but it's probably still not good practice, right? Just say that and move forward because trying to land or down a hill about something to me, it just ruins conversations. I don't know why people do that. I
But
understand why women do
I
it
answered the
because they're
question
women.
directly when I said that black women are offered C sections more like a natural birth versus a C section is a surgery. Black
Mhm,
women get offered the C section more than white women.
mhm.
Facts, study, research. That
Right,
is
but that's
racist.
not answering the
Hold on,
question
let me
about them
answer.
laying
That's
on their
that's
back. It's
racist.
not.
That's racist because if a black woman is only 5% of the population, but
Mhm,
two times the amount of hysterectomies, not
mhm,
because of a health problem, but because of a racist system, I
mhm.
answered the question because you
Right.
don't understand the question or
No, it's
haven't
not.
done
You're not answering the
or
question. See,
you
that's what
don't
I'm saying,
agree,
bro.
then
Listen,
just do more
wait a
research
minute.
and
Listen
come
to
with
what
a
I'm saying, bro. See, this is what I mean. Because you on your soapbox, right? You're trying to make the point that black women endure things that you would consider racist through the medical field, right? I'm not arguing against you that it doesn't happen. What I'm saying is learn when to concede. Learn when to say, you know what, I'm speaking in hyperbole right now. You know what? I can't back up this thing that I'm saying. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not racist. Because as Snowman just said, his wife did it with all their pregnancies, and I know my baby mamas did it, and everybody knows people been doing it. It's not racist. I'm just saying it's okay to say, well, you know what, I misspoke on that one thing, so that the conversation can move forward and it doesn't become a circuit argument because you want to down the heel on your soapbox. It just ruins conversations. But let's move on.
That's a grown man. Where do you get off telling him how he should speak?
Thank
That
you,
first
sis.
and
The
foremost.
same way how
Thank
the
you,
same way
sis.
That's
how
so
we all get off
undermining.
telling each
He
other
said
how.
what he said, and
But
then he did back it up with either his anecdotal or his experiences or what he's researched. So what are you saying? You just
yeah, because
talking.
right.
That's
So
rude.
let me get this straight. You okay with fake news?
Can you come on camera?
It's not fake
Nah, you're not.
news. It's not fake
Nah,
news.
you're
I
not,
don't know
right?
why
You're
you're
not okay
saying
with
that.
fake news, right? So that's what I'm saying. The same way how we don't want people spreading fake news, whether it's about us as black people or otherwise, we shouldn't either.
Why is
That's
it
not
fake? Because
fake
you said so?
news.
Because you said so?
It's
Hold
fake
on.
because he
Before you
can't
answer
back it
that, I'll go
up.
ahead and read this super chat. Thank you. Is it Triumphact? Or I don't know. For the $5 super chat. Wives beg for that epidural. All y'all lie down having the baby.
The epidural don't
My
hurt,
wife's
but laying
actually
down to
trying to
have
have
that
this.
baby didn't.
My wife's
No,
trying
I
to have
think
this
you're
one
on an
without one.
angle. I don't think you're ever laying flat down because that's you can't even push like that. You're on an
Right.
angle. I
I
don't
was
know
on an
what that is.
angle. I was on an angle. I was never
Right.
flat on my back. Never.
Well, look, I understood what he was saying though when he said that his old lady was on flat on her back because to my wife, yeah, it was kind of like cocked like that, but it's
Right.
still flat on your back to a degree.
Right.
It wasn't standing up. It wasn't standing up as the one lady up top was explaining how childbirth should be done. Which I'm not. Which I'm not sitting and disagreeing that maybe the way that doctors make women do childbirth is more traumatic. But what I can say is I just pulled up the mortality rate of women in general in the United States, and it says what is it? In the United States today, 15 women die in pregnancy or childbirth per 100,000 lives or births. That's in the United States, all women, the entire female population.
And what number is black?
And then they say that's way too many. But a century ago, it was more than 600 women per 100,000 births died at childbirth.
You can't use that because that invalidates the point. Now, I would agree with you that I think it's more black women, right? Because I had a friend, rest in peace to one of my best friends, Deanne Spencer, who died giving birth to her son. And that messed us all up. But here's the one thing that the one metric that black women refuse to speak on when we're talking about that particular subject. One of the reasons why they have a higher mortality rate is because they have children at later ages. That's why. See, now watch this. Now watch this. Everything. Now I just invalidated everything else because I said that. Watch this.
You just pulled that out of your ass. That's not. Show me the stat. That's not. That's not real life.
You're right.
It's fact because you said so, right?
No, you're right.
I'm trying to understand why we have men argue with us about giving birth and they can't.
Thank you. Good question.
You just said that I pulled that out of my ass, but I'm being condescending.
Can you state your source?
Why do I have to?
Because if
Because
you're
saying it like
Nobody's
yourself.
saying sources.
because if you're saying
So you tell
I'm gonna look it up.
so wait. I just want to know for sure that what we're gonna say right now is that black women aren't having their children later in life. That's what we're saying.
Nobody said that.
That's what I just said. You told me I pulled it out of my ass.
I'm 15.
Yeah,
That's literally what I just said, and you told me I pulled it out of my ass.
What I'm saying is nobody is debating. No. Can I answer the question? What I'm saying is nobody is debating the fact that black women are having, or women period, are having children later in life. Nobody's debating that. But you trying to apply that to a made up statistic. That's not what I'm that's what I'm refuting.
Oh, shit.
Okay.
Exactly. I literally said one
Yeah,
of
you
the
literally-
metrics. You can rewind the tape. I literally said one of the metrics for the mortality rate amongst black people, black women that they usually don't talk about is the fact that they're having children later. When my friend died on the table giving birth to her son, she knew that it was possible for that birth to be problematic because she was in her 30s. And they told her that. But she was going to have her baby. Right? So, and that's what I'm saying. A lot of women say, hey, save my baby. Don't worry about me. So, no, I didn't even say nothing about no statistic. All I said is, we know for sure, but you ain't gonna argue with me that black women have children later in life. And I'm saying that's contributing to the mortality rate.
What's defined later? Okay,
That's being very
defined later in life.
Sorry, Lev, but that's being very dismissive of the existence of this inequality that exists far more than women having children at later ages being a contributing factor. Like, let's talk about what we're actually discussing here. You're trying to derail the conversation into some bullshit statistic about women having children later in life, and that is a thing. The women are having children later in life, but that doesn't have anything to do with black women's mortality.
Can you please mute yourself, Snowman?
Sorry.
And your mic is only playing out of one side, Snowman. It's only coming out of my left ear. So listen, see, this is what I'm saying, right? This is I believe the perfect panels are 6 women, 4 men, because I believe that women bring balance to a conversation, but not when you're doing what you're doing right now, which is being emotional. My exact words.
Emotional. You're not making any sense,
right? Because every time you start talking, I'll stop until you're through.
Bullshit.
My exact words were one of the metrics. So how is that dismissing anything else?
because
See,
it
right
don't
now,
got
it's okay to
nothing
say,
do with
you
the
know what,
fact
you're right.
of
That's
It's
not being dismissive.
healthcare
you
system
can't
being
say that
racist.
it's a metric because you don't have any numbers behind. There's no, like, you're just pulling shit out of your ass. It's a metric
How?
because it's a metric because you said it's a metric.
Do
You don't know how many of how much of that contributes to what we're actually talking about. You're just trying to disprove somebody else's point.
Right, which is why I'm saying it's a metric. That's my point. Is that I'm
Right.
literally not
Well, your point
dismissing.
is stupid
I'm
because
literally
it's not a
not,
fucking point.
sister.
That's not a
I'm
point.
literally not dismissing the other things. That's why I'm saying it's
You're literally
one
pulling shit
metric.
out of your
No,
ass.
you're being emotional. And
Okay,
y'all
I'm
want to
being
kick people off
emotional
the
because I'm a
panels.
woman.
Y'all
She's
want to
supposed
kick
to be.
people
She's
off
a
the panel
woman.
when they're not just kissing black women's behinds. But I'm literally saying it's one of the metrics. That means that's one of them. Age. 2 could be racism and the stuff that they doing to black people. 3 could be bad health, bad eating. 4, it could be all kind of other stuff going on in their vagina. It could be a whole bunch of things. But all I said was that's one of the metrics that women never discuss is that they're having the babies at a later age. That's what
You
I
sound
said.
really
It's not
emotional right now.
dismissive of anything.
There's only one
This is
person
called being
emotional right
demonstrative, right? Because I'm not speaking in hyperbole. This is called
No.
being demonstrative.
You sound
See,
really
sometimes
emotional right now, brother.
I
I don't
sound
know.
demonstrative.
Sound
See,
a
I
little
sound
sassy.
demonstrative. See, this is the difference when you
Ready?
can't just out talk like these other dumb guys, right? I'm being demonstrative because that's who I am, but I'm not being emotional because I'm speaking
call
facts.
dumb
This is
guy.
why I literally said one metric. You don't understand what metric means, obviously,
I
because you keep
don't.
calling it a statistic. But a
I
metric
don't.
is a unit in a statistic. So I'm not
I
quoting
don't.
statistics, but you
I
should
don't.
Google that so you can
I
realize.
don't understand. I
Are
know.
you
You
going
I'm
to
just,
do more
just
I'm
mentions?
just
accept that
an
I know what I'm
emotional
talking about.
But you're
dumbass
you're
woman.
talking about the
No, you're
criteria
not
of
dumb.
what
No, you're not
you're
dumb. You're not dumb. I'm not gonna let you say that. You're not dumb.
Beans. You're referring to the
This is fucking
criterion of
incredible.
why women are having higher mortality rates when it comes to childbirth, right? Those are the criteria that you labeled. Is that what you're talking about? Metrics?
No, not metrics. Metric.
I'm saying the metric. So are you
Yes.
saying that is a criterion? That's basically what you're trying to say. That's a criterion. Those are the reasons why.
It's a reason why.
Okay.
Yes. That's
Okay.
all I'm saying. It's just
Okay.
a reason why. That's it. I believe, listen, I
Okay,
believe
we heard your
these
point.
people are killing our sisters. I believe that. I believe these people are kidnapping our sisters. I believe that. But my intellect and my logic is not going to let me dismiss all of the other factors. That's the difference. And when we have these type of conversations, when we sit on panels and we speak in hyperbole and don't want to speak matter-of-factly or logically or use numbers, we sound like what we saying don't matter. So if that's what you want the program to be, then go ahead. But I'm not going to do that to his program or mine.
I'm asking you what the numbers are. That's literally what I've been saying.
I don't know the numbers, but what I do
Then
know is
stop
that
talking on it.
disproportionately,
Then why are you
I'm not
talking?
talking on the numbers. That's the
Why are you
point.
talking? Oh
I'm
my
not
God.
speaking on the numbers, sister.
You're talking
One
about
of
a
the
metric.
metrics is
You
the
have
fact,
to.
yes, it matters.
Can I read this
Yeah,
super chat?
but to what extent does it matter? Is what I'm saying. That's why
We
you need
already,
numbers.
what do they call a woman's pregnancy when she gets into her 30?
High risk.
Geriatric.
So now here, geriatric. Now here's the thing. Here's what I want you to do. I don't even know this for a fact. I don't know it at all. I will bet you any kind of money you want to right now that the majority of black women who die on the birth table are over 30. I will bet you right now. That means 51% or more, whatever money you want to bet. And I don't even know it. But you know why I'll be willing to bet that? Because it makes sense. It ain't my feelings. It ain't what I want to feel about it.
Please? Can you read the super chat as Hamp asks us to
Caesar's
do?
Palace, $2. Beans, 10 toes down. Thank you, Caesar's Palace. Will, $10. There are a multitude of disparities across racial lines in medicine. You can look up something called wimpy white boy syndrome about the disparities of white boys in the NICU.
Or NICU, as they call it.
NICU, yeah. I know my wife, she's 35 with this pregnancy, and she's been having a whole lot more health issues with it than she did the first two. The first two, I mean, she breezed right through it. She actually impressed me with how well she handled being pregnant. And this time around, the third time, it's just hitting her different. I mean, even her chemical levels are off balance and stuff, unlike the other ones.
Yeah.
So can I ask a question for the men? Can I ask a question on the men?
Dana, you're not done. And I don't want you to ever say that.
I know I'm not done, fool.
Say it out loud then.
I know I'm not done.
You ain't done.
Can Love ask what she was going to ask? Because
our sisters ain't dumb.
Yes,
Okay.
no. Love,
So-
go ahead, girl.